Ladies and gentlemen, it's everyone's favorite segment of Mondays. It's the Market Watch Mondays. So for those that don't know, every single Monday on stream, we go over all of the biggest market movers over the GE over the last week. But remember, I don't know how to flip, and this is not financial advice. If you do attempt to flip with the items that I go over today, that I cover, there is every chance you will lose money, and you'll probably lose money. So don't take this as financial advice, okay? Secondly, flipping old school. This is the GOAT. I have to pay homage every single time I do this. Once a month, he'll come out with a market watch like this. And he goes a lot more in depth than I do because he waits a whole month and he has a lot more items to go over. Much better videos than mine. But he only does it once a month. And I'm a big fucking market nerd. So I need more stats. You know what I mean? I need more stuff to go over. So shout out Flipping Old School. Make sure you check him out if you haven't. Now, the Flipping Hedge Fund this month, we are 3 weeks in. 3 weeks ago, I got a total investment of 1.92 bill. Last week, we were up. This says 272. However, we ended the last month at 171. So we were in profit 101 mil last week. This week, I'm happy to announce we're now 102 mil in profit. 102. It has been a wild week in the market. The way that I flip is something known as overnight flipping, which basically I will find an item that has been trading pretty evenly throughout the day between two different price points, and then I'll buy it overnight, just based on the assumption that it should stick around that mark. It shouldn't move too much. However, this whole week has just been nothing but items that are wildly fluctuating up and down, and it's been next to impossible to find a good flip. So I've done very little flipping this week just because it's been too risky. We still managed to profit 1 mil, but nothing too good in the market this week, unfortunately. So that brings our total profit up to 102 mil. Those that are invested in the Flipping Hedge Fund are up 5.3%. So very exciting. Next week, as a reminder, today is currently the 17th of the 3rd here in Australia. Monday, the 17th of March. On Monday, the 24th of March, 1 week from today, at around 8 a.m. AEDT, maybe somewhere between 8 and 9 a.m. AEDT, I will be going live to give people their money back from the Flipping Hedge Fund. Make sure you're here. We've still got 6 people from the previous month that haven't collected. I have an extra 1 bill from people that haven't collected from last month. So make sure you're here on the 24th, 8 to 9 a.m. AEDT, and we'll be handing back the money for this month's Flipping Hedge Fund, and then after that, we'll be collecting the money for the Flipping Hedge Fund. Okay? And also, as a reminder, Monday for me is most likely Sunday for you. Hopefully, I'll see you guys next week to collect and get some more investments for the Flipping Hedge Fund. Okay, first item we're going to be taking a look at this week is the Noxious halberd. We looked at this last week because of the announcements from RuneFest. This shot up to 55 mil, and it has already come back down to 39. It was at 35 before the RuneFest announcements, but people are realizing that when Jagex said that we're making a buff to halberds and that it was going to be useful on Zulrah, that doesn't mean much. It's cool. It's not a huge, big change for the Noxious halberd here. It's basically exactly the same. It's going to be the same weapon, just slightly more useful in literally one place. So it's come back down. The other item that was big for the RuneFest announcements was the Torstol. They're bringing out the new Surge potions, which restore 25% special attack energy. I can't remember exactly what the Surge potions are going to do, but they require a Torstol. That shot Torstals up to almost 4k a piece, and they are now back down to 3,500. Personally, once again, this is not investment advice. This is not flipping advice. I think the Torstals will go back up, especially when the Surge potions come out. So I don't think this would be too bad of an investment if you were to look at it. But once again, there is every chance this could go down. This is not financial advice. We don't know. But I am no longer invested in Torstals. I sold them at, I believe, 3,900 right at the top here. And I'm not planning on buying them again. I think it's a bit risky, but I think they will go up. Too risky for me. I'm not getting in, but I do think the price will go back up. Next item, which we saw take a big rise, was the Blood Rune. We had Scapenomics go over this for us last week, but the Blood Rune has been on a steady rise for the last month from 240. Prior to this was actually at 210, all the way up to 300, and it's currently stuck around 300. With the release of Yama, I think we're going to see the Blood Rune skyrocket because we don't know for sure, but we're assuming that the Scythe is going to be best in Slayer Yama. It drops slash armor. It is a 3x3 boss. So you would assume that a slash weapon is going to be really good at it, and the Scythe is the best in slot everywhere where there is a 3x3 monster. However, that being said, I think prior to the release of the soul armor, I think Yama's going to come out, and I think Scythe is going to be best in slot at Yama only if you have the soul armor. So I think, personally, I think Ember Light is going to be best in slot at Yama before the soul armor comes into the game. And then after that, I think the Scythe will be best in slot with the soul armor. Either that or the Soulreaper axe. I can see the Soulreaper axe being best in slot at Yama as well. So we'll just have to see. But Blood Runes, I think, are going to continue to rise. Last week, they spoke about the Avernic Treads coming into the game and showed that they will still include all of the Cerberus boots. So we saw another big spike here for Eternal Boots, and even more so considering the fact that they also spoke about new Mage armor. They talked about having the Tormented Bracelet be a new upgrade, which will make the Shadow insanely more powerful at a lot more places, which means magic is going to be a force to be reckoned with at a lot of different PVM. And that means a lot of magic armor also saw a big increase. Not just the Eternal Boots, we also saw a big increase for the Ancestral Robe Bottom. That's had a price increase of 10% over just the last week. Weirdly enough, no big price increase for the Ancestral Robe Top. In fact, it is just completely stagnant this week. Not risen at all. Potentially max hits don't change too much with two pieces of Ancestral. I can see that maybe with just having the Ancestral Top and an Aram Skirt, you might have had the same max hit with a lot of weapons as you would with Ancestral Top and Ancestral Bottom. So I'm not 100% positive on that one, but I think with the release of the new Tormented Bracelet upgrade kit, that may have brought a buff in for the Ancestral Pants compared to the Aram's Pants. So people may be stocking up on those just because of the extra max hits that you potentially get. Once again, I don't know if that 100% is the case. That's just what I would be speculating. I'd have to run the numbers on it, but quite frankly, I am not invested in these Ancestral Robe Bottoms at all, so I have not bothered to run the numbers on them. Other weapons the Occult necklace was rumored to be the upgrade for the new magic gear. It was going to be an Occult upgrade. People said, hey, that shit, don't do that. So they said, okay, we're going to go look at this again. However, people, you know, speculation happens all the time, and people obviously were speculating that the Occult may still end up being the upgrade. They may bring the Occult back to 10% or whatever it was. So the Occult was still maintaining a high price until, of course, this week with the announcement. It has gone down from 700k to 550k, which is where it used to sit before they made the original announcement that the Occult was going to be the upgrade. The thing about the market is, guys, people will buy the hype. Items will get priced in before the updates. So you need to, if you're going to be, and this is investing advice, okay? If you're going to be flipping items that you think are going to go up from an update, you need to be buying them before the update and selling them before the update. Let's say, for instance, the Occult necklace was the upgrade, right? Let's say, for instance, the Occult necklace was the upgrade. You need to buy it before the update, because when the update comes in, people are going to be selling the Occults as soon as the update hits, because that's when people are going to be in demand for them. And you're going to see a lot of Occult necklaces come into the game or onto the Grand Exchange, which drives the price down. There's a lot of supply after an update because everybody that's invested in it is trying to sell it off. And there is not as much demand because the people that are invested in them have purchased so many of them. So if you are going to flip an item you think is usable after an update, make sure you buy it way before the update and sell it before the update actually comes into the game. Next item I want to take a look at is an item I took a look at a few weeks ago, I think maybe over a month ago now. With the update to Bounty Hunter, there was a big increase for the Blighted Vengeance sack. It went up from 200 up to 350 and has now brought itself back down. So more Blighted Vengeance sacks are coming into the game. I don't know if that's through LMS, or I think you can get them in Soul Wars, or what it is. Wilderness bots, who knows what it is, but all I know is there's a lot less demand now for Blighted Vengeance sacks. You can actually see how much the demand has gone down since back here. And the price has come back down, not all the way down to 200, but on its way there. And I think if it does get down to 200, it'll probably be a good spot to invest, if I'm completely honest with you. Next item, one of my favorite items in the game, guys, the Soulreaper axe. We spoke about this with Yama. I think when Yama comes out, this is just my personal opinion, this is my speculation, I think the Soulreaper axe is going to be best in slot at Yama until you get soul armor, at which point the Soulreaper axe will become second best in slot and the Scythe will overtake it. But Soulreaper axe is a fantastic item. It is only going to get stronger with the soul armor, and as you can see, that's currently being priced in. People can see that the Soulreaper axe is going to be getting better when the soul armor comes out, and they're stocking up. People are buying Soulreaper axes because they think it's going to be a really powerful weapon, especially after the soul armor comes out. And I am inclined to agree with them. Not personally invested in Soulreaper axes right now, but I'm seriously considering it. It's going to be an interesting weapon to watch around the release of Yama. All right, next up, of course, we can't talk about the release of Yama without talking about the most important weapon on a big boss release. That is the Elysian Spirit Shield, which is currently on a generational run. Ladies and gentlemen, it has gone from 730 mil all the way up to 800, and as you can see, the buy price this morning is 807 mil. The Elysian Spirit Shield has caught a 10% increase in literally the last 2 weeks. Absolutely crazy moves here by the Elysian Spirit Shield, and this is due to 100% solely due to the fact that when a big boss release comes out, everybody wants an Ellie so that they can be the people that survive the longest at the boss. Because the longer you survive at a boss, the more you learn about the boss, especially on release. And everybody is 100% going to be running an Ellie for the boss release. So you can see a big move there. Very unfortunate for me. I sold off, I think I had 12 Ellies, 12 or 13 Ellies. I sold them off at 745 mil. So that could have been a 600 mil profit if I held on to those for another couple of weeks. But what can you do, guys? What can you do? Next up, with the release of the Soul Armor, we see the Torva armor set go down. And I was having a look at it, and I was like, yeah, well, the release of the Soul Armor, Torva is going to be used a little bit less. You'll use Soul Armor at a few more places, potentially even more places than Torva. So obviously, naturally, the price is going to go down. But then I took a look at the year-long graph, guys, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Torva's come down from 450 mil 1 year ago down to almost 300. It has reached 300 at one point here. And it's just completely non-stop on the way down. People are getting too good at the game. There's a lot more people doing necks, duo necks, solo necks, small team necks. Necks is the best money in the game, has been for a long time, apart from TOA now, because of the prices that have gone down. But Torva is just on a constant downtrend here, and it's only getting cheaper and cheaper, and I don't know what is going to be done about it, unless Yama comes out and is more money than Nex. People, well, yeah, that's the thing. It just, there needs to be another boss that comes out that is better money per hour. Otherwise, people are going to always continue doing the best money in the game, which is Nex. It has been for a long time, and as the prices go down, that becomes less true. And what you'll see happen is, once Nex isn't the best money in the game anymore, whatever is the best money, people will go and start doing that instead, and you'll see the Torva prices come back up. But as it currently stands, the Torva price has come down from 450 mil down to 300 mil over the course of the last year, which is crazy to see. Now, of course, my favorite segment on Market Watch Mondays, ladies and gentlemen, the big three: the Scythe, the Twisted Bow, and the Tumican Shadow. Always love to see where the mega rares are sat this week. We see the Twisted Bow go from 1565 up to 1565. That's right. It's barely gone up at all this week. A small rise up to 1580 and then come back down to about 1570 over the course of the last week. The Twisted Bow has not been getting a lot of love in a lot of recent updates. A lot of recent PVM has been very centered around Scythe and Shadow, because the Twisted Bow has been so insanely powerful for so long. I think Jagex is finally starting to realize, oh, we better put some work into the other mega rares, or the Twisted Bow is just going to become the most insane weapon in the game. People are using it for everything. They kind of want to bring some other weapons to the forefront, which makes a lot of sense. So the Twisted Bow, not been getting a lot of love in recent updates, but still an insanely powerful weapon, sat at 1.57 bill this week. Next up, Tumican Shadow. We did see with the update, or the news post this week, that they are bringing out a new Tormented Bracelet upgrade kit, essentially. Well, it's being polled. Maybe. Depending on the backlash. We'll see. But their idea was to give the Tormented Bracelet another 2% magic damage bonus, as well as give it an insane accuracy buff, saying that if you hit or you miss with a magic weapon, your next hit has double accuracy. The the Shadow already has insane accuracy. You don't miss that much, but there are certain bosses where you do miss. No Monkey made a video where he went over and showed that you don't use the Shadow at Kefri because you miss too much, but with this upgrade, you would use the Shadow at Kefri instead. of the Fang. Barbar, you use the Fang as well because you miss too much with the Shadow. If the upgrade comes into the game, you'll use the Shadow at Barbar as well. You can use the Shadow at bosses like Nex. And a lot of places that you wouldn't already use the Shadow will become a best in slot weapon for if the Tormented Bracelet upgrade kit comes out with the new update for the Delve boss. And of course, that has seen a fucking meteoric rise. It's so funny because the update, the news post came out 6 days ago, right? No market movement whatsoever for the Shadow. None whatsoever, because people that are reading it can't read in far enough to see that the Shadow is getting a crazy buff. No Monkey releases a video 5 days ago, and all of a sudden the Shadow gains 120 million value. I need to hit No Monkey up and ask him to do some fucking insider trading with me, okay? I need to hit him up and be like, can you make a video about this item? And I just have 1 million of them, and I make so much fucking money from it, all right? Because people are struggling to think for themselves. So even after the update, you see nothing. No Monkey makes a video. Big fucking movement. And the Shadow has gone from 1.2 bill up to 1.28 after coming back down a little bit. And if they don't make a change to the Tormented Bracelet upgrade kit, the Shadow will continue to go up. It is becoming better at a lot more places. So we'll just have to see what the update brings. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the final of the big three, the biggest one, the Scythe of Vitur. Last week, I said in my Market Watch Monday that if Yama comes out and it is weak to the Scythe, we will see the Scythe go to max cash. After uploading the video, I had so many fucking brain dead idiot morons in my YouTube comments trying to tell me that I was wrong. The Scythe has already come back down. It was at 1.88 bill. Now it's already back down to 1.82 bill. You're wrong. There's no way the Scythe is ever going to go to max cash. And look at this. After the last week, it's gone back up from 182 to 188. We are almost seeing it crack that 1.9 bill mark. And I think we will see that happen very, very shortly. And like I said, if Yama comes out and it is weak to slash, we will 100%, absolutely 1 billion% see the Scythe hit max cash. You won't be able to buy the Scythe on the Grand Exchange anymore. I can promise you that. Now, I'm going to end the recording here because I'm about to go over what I'm currently invested in. And if I do this on YouTube, people call me out for market manipulation. So if you want to see what I'm invested in, you got to come down to the stream. You know what I'm saying? Sorry.